and that is the coffin races in Gardnerville. But what she does, Gardnerville is an organization that actually is working on redeveloping Gardnerville and making it a fun place to be. And the planner side of me, my day job as a planner, I want to hear about that, but we mostly concentrate on the coffin races, what goes into it, how they're set up, what are the rules for it, what kind of creativity are they looking for. I think that's going to be a fun, exciting event. I know there's a lot of stiff competition for your time that weekend, but we're going to have a good time talking to Jen Toon. And then following week after that, on August 29th, we're going to have Norm Huckle here from Reno Area Avian Enthusiasts. And that is going to be a show that is going to be for the birds, because that is all things birds. What Reno Area Avian Enthusiasts does, or RAVE, is they have birds that need homes, and he pairs them up with homes that need birds. And we actually have a rave bird ourselves at our house named Summer, and I will tell the whole story of how we ended up getting her, because it's kind of a sad yet happy story at the same time. So that's what we have to look forward to. But I'm excited to tell you well, I shouldn't say I'm excited to tell you that I have these guests coming in. I am excited to have them, but I had originally scheduled the Mauve realtor, Kyra Taylor. However, we did have to reschedule her this week. But I do have some fun guests here, and that is going to be Joe and Heather Murray. They are Story County residents, and I hear they have a very cool meet cute story. So welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Good morning.
Happy to fill in.
You're welcome. So I guess we go and get started with, I know you guys both, obviously you have separate lives growing up. So Joe, I'm going to start with you. Where did you grow up, and how was your early life?
Okay. So I was born in a little bitty West Texas town called Fort Stockton. And if you've never heard of it, you're normal.
I never have, and I know everywhere.
Yeah, I'm not sure the people who live there know that it's there. So it's kind of a place that you find on the way to other places. Maybe you're headed to El Paso, or there's also Big Bend out there, which I don't know, like if it's big or a bend.
I was about to ask that. Maybe it's like a tiny curve.
It could be a misnomer.
Actually. Because we have places all over here, like there's no lake on Lake Street, like I mentioned in my book.
Nothing.
There's no mill on Mill Street. Dutch Flat is not Dutch and not very flat.
Oh, it's all over, right? False advertising. So I grew up there, learned that I don't like Copenhagen snuff, and that's important to know. It's a big thing out there. You got to know your brand. Got to know your brand. Never got into the Skull, so I just couldn't fit in. About 9 years old, mom decides not much out there, right? Not many job opportunities, very small place. If you're not going to ranch, then probably you're not going to be there. My grandfather, he worked in water wells, right? So he had kind of a go-to right away, and that did fine for him.
And that was your first job, right? Is that right?
That was one of them, yeah.
An early job.
Yeah, I don't know if you call like grandchild a job, but yeah,
it's a job.
I held that position. Yeah.
Yeah. No, a lot of the family would work. And you want to talk about learning? You want to talk about learning a work ethic? I've been out there, met the family, and
what I really learned is that it's super hot out there, and that my uncles are impatient. That was what I took from that job. But
so you're trying to not only fight out the heat, but also their impatience to get it done now. And that's not how I picture the South. I picture the South as running in its own time zone and get things whenever you get around to doing them.
I overheard. So I'm also from Texas, but not the same area, although I've been out there quite a bit. But I remember one time in a hotel, sometimes you'd go for brunch or whatever, and I overheard a Yankee down visiting, and it was, no wonder these Texans are so grumpy. It is hot. It is so hot here.
So hot.
It is. They were very grumpy, the visitors.
But all the ranchers around there depended on him, so his schedule stayed pretty busy. And that also gave my uncle something to do in the summer. And then they gained a number of skills that they could take with them elsewhere. But flash forward, I'm 9 years old. Mom finds a way to get us to San Marcos, Texas, which is at the time kind of a mid-sized college town. And I don't know if I mentioned that it had Southwest Texas State University, which has a claim to fame in that it had the largest concentration of alcoholics in the state at one time. They actually had to change the name of the university. And
I'm trying to picture college students or university students drinking because I just can't picture that image
I know
in my head
it
at
seems
all.
weird, right? And
They're
then
not known for it.
I don't know
No.
what this whole hazing week was about. It's probably just a rumor, like one of those urban legends that people make up. But it came around every year,
Mhm.
and it affected traffic. So I mean, there was something about
Wow.
it, right? But we didn't have a lot of resources, so I grew up playing in the river and skateboarding, and generally walking about with my friends from point to point. The river went all the way through town, so there were a number of places to choose from, and I really enjoyed that. That was kind of the saving grace.
Was it a warm river for swimming or was it kind of cold?
was.
Now, was
Actually,
this the New Braunfels?
no, this is San Marcos River.
San Marcos
Mhm.
River.
And San Marcos is actually where it comes out. It's the headwaters. It's where it comes out of the well. So it's basically 60 degrees year round. Very stable.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
So
That's still a little bit cooler. You can still get the George Costanza moments with that, I think.
that's true.
Yeah.
Every time, actually. Yeah. The Cheetos moment. Not the most
Never
proud. And
prepared.
of course, when you come out of the water, the air goes out of your trunks and then it's
Mhm.
just stuck and the profile is plainly visible. So, but it happens to everybody. And then that's
we're all
the
on equal standing
equalizer
there. Yeah.
right there.
Mhm.
And had to learn with that. It was a little adjustment, but we got through it. That's good.
So did you end up going to college there or did you go somewhere else?
No, but I did go to parks that were sponsored by colleges because there were college girls there.
Well, that's a
And
reason to go right there.
Right. Me and my friends thought that was a pretty good feature.
Yeah.
Like we thought it was neat.
You always want to look when you're picking a college, if you're a young man, the ratio of females to males and make sure there's way more females than males.
Now that you mention it, I wish I'd have thought of that first, but
I think is it our friend Pablo? That's why he took dancing because
right.
Mhm.
he figured out that
Whole lot more girls.
whole lot
Well,
more girls.
That was me in 7th grade home economics class. Who's the only boy in his class?
yeah, you've got the
Man, I
market
got
cornered. You got their
robbed.
attention.
There were like 4 other guys in my class.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mm.
It's just wrong. I don't see how it happens that way, but it does.
Well, it worked out because you did get a beautiful woman as your
I
wife. So
did.
that worked
I
out well.
did.
And
Yeah.
And
And I
it-
passed the class. So
that's good. It worked out for me too because my wife, Dion, she appreciates my knowing how to cook and clean and all that fun stuff too. Because
yeah.
oh yeah.
a lot of men
A lot
either
of
won't
women
do it
appreciate that.
or won't do it because it's a woman's work. And I don't believe that way. I really don't. So
Yeah. Well, she definitely gets better results than me. So
Mm.
there's that. I mean, there is a preference,
mhm.
if I'm honest.
But you're not a man child. So yeah, I do the true cooking,
Right.
but you can feed us both
Yeah.
or take care of yourself. You're not a
Despite
man
my
child.
best efforts, I'm somewhat adult.
He did
Yeah.
did try the incompetence thing, but I didn't go for it.
Nope.
So
I
Hmm.
just could not maintain the ruse.
just yeah.
Yeah.
You let it slip too often. I saw through it.
That ADD thing, I forgot what I was doing.
Yeah. So, it's a grill or a stir fry or a sandwich, but it's
But it's
food.
there.
It works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's seasoned.
Yeah.
It's got a sauce.
It
It's all good.
works.
Yeah. So about, we'll say 23, there was a complex series of events that took me to Arkansas. I knew a guy.
Is this 2023 or is this 23 years
No,
old?
23 years old.
Okay.
23
Okay,
years
sorry.
old.
Right.
Oh, you're
Okay.
being facetious.
I
was
guess.
like, I was like a complex set of events.
Yeah. Well, let's see if you can follow the story. All right. Here it goes. All right. So I knew this guy, and
Okay.
this guy knew a guy who would rent me a room.
There you go. It was
Are we
someplace.
all on the same page?
It was someplace
I know.
different.
It was a
So
long
the
story.
friend of a friend sort of thing, like the urban
Right.
legends.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went from nowhere, Texas to nowhere, Arkansas.
No, actually, I went from modestly somewhere, Texas, to literally nowhere of in
Yeah,
Arkansas,
yeah.
like dead center of no
definitely.
place specifically.
Yeah. This is
Yeah.
where you go when you don't.
Yeah,
want
I don't
to
know.
deal
I don't know
with
how
other
I did
people.
it.
So is this kind
Hey,
of
I'm a
place where you would,
Razorback.
is this place where you would dump a body and
or basically, yeah, like it's a good place to hide a body.
Well, that is
Oh.
okay. So that is where we ended up. I mean, usually we talk about this epidemic of meeting people,
Mhm.
and somehow going from nowhere to nowhere, we still ended up
yeah,
meeting, right?
yeah,
And it working out.
yeah.
But and then we actually, there's all the in between.
Mhm.
But we lived
We'll
for
get to
many
that.
years. Yeah, we lived for many years in an unincorporated area.
Mhm.
And there were legends about people driving through the town just next to us and then not being seen again. And we began to realize, well, they were seen in that county. I think it's our county that was the problem.
And to be fair, you can never tell if something happened or if they just went there for that purpose. We had people who just liked being in the middle of nowhere and not being bothered. It suited them. They're pioneer kind of people, I guess.
Well, that's me before my coffee, but after my coffee, I'm great.
Oh,
right.
A
little more sociable.
Yeah.
We'll go
Give
hang
the
out
bear
at
some caffeine. It'll come out of his cave.
the local cafe.
Yeah.
So, Joe, did you end up graduating then from that college anywhere?
Well, yeah.
That came later.
That came much later.
Okay.
But the gentleman who rented me the room was actually a teacher there at Deer, Arkansas. If you've never heard of that, once again, you're normal.
You're normal.
Deer, Arkansas.
Very normal. It's not even a place on the way
Well, do you know
to
what you
some
call?
other place.
Do you know what you call a one-eyed deer?
Do tell.
No idea.
No idea.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
so
continue.
anyway,
Yes.
so how did you end up meeting me?
Yes, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get, okay.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
This is really cool. This is a cool story. So I do want to
yeah,
hear it.
I realize like 23 is kind of a stretch as far as growing up, but I am male and we get bigger, but we don't necessarily grow up. So I think it counts.
I don't think men ever
be...
finish growing up.
No, I don't think it's a thing.
I'm with you on that. And if they haven't, I used to say, I can't wait until like he's 40, because a lot of times men don't actually mature until 40. And if they haven't matured by 40, you're probably out of luck.
Yeah, they're probably.
Well, I'm 50 and I'm still not there.
But yeah, it takes experiences for anyone to grow up. It's not just about age or a number of years. It takes experiences, and it takes meeting different people and things like that in order to mature. I mean, if you're never challenged, you're never going to grow and mature, and you're never going to think about things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but anyway,
this gentleman.
You're in Swain.
Yeah.
He teaches in
Swain,
Deer.
Arkansas, which is a Masonic lodge by the side of the highway.
That cracks me up. Like it's
just a random Masonic lodge.
Yeah,
Masonic
just so
lodge,
random. There's enough people
which is
for
also
that.
the community building. And
that
there
makes
is
more
one
sense.
small sign that says Swain. No population or anything like that.
Population zero.
Population you.
None ya business.
Right. Yeah, until you get to Deer, you are the population. But he literally just said, "Hey, let's load up." And we got in the truck, and he drove me to the community college there, North Arkansas College. Walked me into the registrar and said, "Hey, okay, sign up." Yeah, and that's how I got into ostensibly college. And
so you were lucky that this friend of a friend was someone who looked out for you.
Yeah, I was very lucky. And being an English teacher, he actually helped me out a lot when I was doing like research papers and things, because I didn't really have an idea where to start. I'll be honest. I was
and you couldn't speak real good.
No, really. Well, that's a survival skill in Northwest Arkansas. You got to know.
Well, you always got to know the local lingo.
Right,
but yeah, a lot of the college there actually, as many do, because we have such a broad range of experiences, had a program that was just for, hey, if you need catching up on some of these basics, you're going to go through this program first before you get into the regular college. And I had that they had that at TCC there in Fort Worth, which is a huge metroplex. And it was there in Northwest Arkansas, which is very rural. So it happens everywhere that, some people need catching up. And
yeah, that would be me.
It's good to have that, being able to follow something through.
Yeah, I was marginal in high school as a student, to say the least. So it was actually a big help to kind of get me started up to level.
That makes me so much more proud of everything you've accomplished and what you've done and how hard you work.
Right.
And you're both very articulate. So
I'm glad to know. Yeah.
Yeah, you can be intelligent and we need all sorts. We need the people who can read the books and read the paragraphs and understand the legalese. We need those people, but there's different kinds of thinking. We're all people, and we need all of them. So we need all the kinds of thinking.
Right.
But my dad was that way. He struggled. So my mom was always really proud of how hard he worked to become a mechanic, and because just school and college is just the traditional was not his thing, but he was the state's best mechanic, and then he went to school again at 50. We can do things. We can do hard things.
Yeah, I think we're of the age where people have 2 to 3 careers.
Yes, I mean,
it's no longer this is your long career. You got to, I think the era
keep
shifting, keep changing. You got to hustle.
I think
Yeah.
the era of working for one company for 50 years and then getting
Long
a gold
gone.
watch,
Long gone.
gone. And
Long
then
gone.
I've always wondered though, why do you get a gold watch and you retire? You retire. Why do you need to know what time it is?
Right.
Right.
It should be
Well, I
like.
think-
and
Well, you
we
need a
will
tea
take your
time.
watches.
I think it's in case you need to sell it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean,
Oh,
like
just in
real
case.
gold. You need real gold. You know.
Well, I'm sure it's a status item. It's a show off to show off. It's
Yeah.
a status item.
I
But
survived.
that's
Yay.
it. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work. It doesn't have to. It's
And
that's
yeah,
the idea. It's there to remind you that you don't have to watch time.
yeah,
That's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or you could be Mr. Webster and just take off.
So, Joe, we talked about you in your early life. So, Heather, how about you? How did you what was your early part of your life through about
Oh,
that same
so
time
I
frame?
was in the exact opposite. I was in the Fort Worth Metroplex. you
Big
know,
city.
big city, multiple cities there together, world class, huge museums, zoos. I did though. I've always considered, I do have the heart of a country girl as well. I like to go between the city and the country. They've both got such wonderful aspects to them. And so I was fortunate enough to be able to spend time out in East Texas and West Texas and in Arkansas and in rural Arkansas. So I always considered myself very fortunate to be able to have both those experiences. I was a dancer. I was part of Margot Dean's ballet concerto. So we worked hard, old school dancing, Russian, French, Italian, all of that. Had to know how to go between that. Did some Spanish flamenco. Yeah. Luis Montero came over from Spain every year, and we had people from around the world come and help us put on events for the community. And we would sometimes we did private shows for people to raise money.
How old were you at this point?
Oh, well, I started super young. She didn't normally take them this young. But my mom had brought me in and I went straight over to the bar and just joined the class. And so the word is I was so adorable and so dedicated that she let me stay. So I was 3.5.
Oh, that's
so
cute.
yeah, my feet, my hips, my legs are formed as a dancer. Yeah. So it was my saving grace because I was also ADD, but not diagnosed, not in medicine, no school help or anything. And that was my saving grace. I exercised it all out. Yeah. So I loved dancing. We also did shows for the schools a lot, bringing all kinds of culture, into things they would normally get to see. And every year we did holiday shows and yeah, I was big into that. And then also at 9 years old, I got baptized and was helping teach. Teachers were always getting annoyed with me, whether it was whether it was in school or Bible school, it didn't matter because I was like, I know the answer, I know the answer, I know the answer, and they were like, why is she in here? Because I taught myself to read because I had one of these Mickey Mouse, like you put the headphones on and you're listening to the tape as you're following along in the book, and
that's how I learned to read too, the phonics.
Right, exactly. Yes. And it totally surprised my mother because apparently I wasn't talking. So she took me and thought I couldn't talk.
You were not talking?
I was, yes. And so it was my stepmother that was like, dude, she's got full sentences. She can talk. She can read. And my oldest child did the exact same thing to me. I had him in speech therapy. And she came to me and she was like, okay, something's not right here. It's like, he seems very clever. I think he just likes the rewards. And I'm like, then why isn't he talking? So I was telling this story to my sisters-in-law and they were like, he totally talks. He talks and talks and talks. So, fair play comes about. But anyway, I was in and out of the local public schools and the private schools there. I was half on scholarship, half on merit. So had a lot of different experiences there that were pretty interesting. And then as an adult, my parents had, gotten divorced when I was very young. So my dad and my stepmom and my siblings were all in Northwest Arkansas. And I took my kids up there and wanted to know my dad. I had gotten married right out of college. I mean, right out of school. I've gotten married right out of school. It was only a year and a half into college.
And for the record, this was not Joe. This was a previous.
Yeah, and I did.
You guys haven't met yet, so that'd be interesting if you were.
Yeah, I did
married
have
before you met
kids,
him.
and then we got divorced. It all came tumbling down. So I went up to visit my dad and to be there, and I took my kids, and we were getting to know my family up there and spend time up there. And my mom calls me and she's like, so when are you going to come back and go to church and find a guy to, when are you going to find a real husband, And
that's a little bit rude.
I was like, well, you knew the story, but we're not going to go.
Yeah,
into all
that's
that.
not-
Right.
Yeah, we're not going to do all that. We're going to have a good time here. But
That's what this show's about.
yeah, I didn't mean to bring it up at all. But then I was like, oh, well, like, so I did say kids, so I guess I'll explain it.
Okay.
But yeah, I was like, so about that. And I never came back home. So, because
Wow.
I met this guy.
Well, that
Yes.
sounds like a good place to go ahead and step away for a second. So we're going to come back in a few minutes with Heather and Joe Murray to continue this very fun meet cute story and how they ended up getting into tomatoes.
Right.
So you're
right.
doing a great job with that. But we're
It
back
was
in
the goal.
we're back in just a couple of minutes. Welcome back to Nevada Backstage here on Northern Nevada's Voice, KNNR KPGF. Before we go on, I did want to go ahead and I'm your host, Jim Umbach. Today, should probably tell you who I am. Who is this guy talking to me? So we have some backstage bulletins this week. Greenheart Exchange is looking for families to host international high school exchange students. Each student is fully insured, brings spending money, and wants to be active in family life. Provide an enriching experience for your family and impact your community. Visit hostwithgreenheart.org. Some fun events coming up today in Carson City, August 15th. Carson City Senior Center celebrating its 50th anniversary with a free community open house from 11 to 2 at 911 Beverly Drive. Event features sparkling cider, live music, pizza, history exhibits. Oh, and because it is a senior center, they're required by federal law to have bingo. And there may even be some swag bags. So for more information, give them a call at 775-883-0703 or visit carsonCitySeniorCenter.org. And that's for Yerington. I'm trying to remember I think there was something going on in Yerington this weekend. I'm trying to remember. Oh, yes, it is the Lyon County Fair. You may recall my fun conversation last week with Stephanie Moxley of the Lyon County Fair. And I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to be there this weekend due to some other obligations. But if you are in Yerington, do check out the Lyon County Fair and all of the fun stuff that she talked about last week. Virginia City Civil War Day is coming up at Miners Park in Virginia City, Labor Day weekend, September 5th through the 7th. That's always a really fun event. You can visit them on Facebook at Comstock Civil War. Also in Virginia City at the 4th Ward School on September 19th. Yar! That's the 150th year of the 4th Ward School, having a celebration of that. Doors at 5:30, event at 6:30. Tickets at $35 with all kinds of fun museum exhibits, prizes, all that sort of thing. So contact the museum at 775-847-0975 for more info. And then in Stagecoach, this is not related to the bug or the stallion fires, but there was a family that lost everything in a fire earlier this week. This Wednesday, August 19th, you can go to Prospector Pizza at 5925 Apache Drive in Stagecoach. $10 gets you a pasta dinner with garlic bread and lemonade. And students from Silver Stage High School will be serving pasta and selling raffle tickets. You can donate items or gift cards there at Prospector Pizza, or you can go to the Soulless Better Dispensary at 275 South US Highway 395 in Washoe City to donate. And in Dayton, St. Anne's Catholic Church, first annual bazaar happening Friday, August 28th and Saturday, August 29th. Local vendors, pancake breakfast, games, silent auction, and a raffle. Second to last chance before the holidays begin. They want to make sure that you're aware of that. Second to last chance. Check it out at 3 Melanie Drive in Dayton. For more information, contact them at 775-246-7578 or go to stansdayton.com. That's stansdayton.com. And finally, have you had enough to deal with this week? I think we've all had a really busy week this week. Sign up for Project Bear Hugs Day Out. Actually, you don't even just sign up. You can just come to Project Bear Hugs Day Out. It's a completely free day out for people and families affected by the bug, Fred Mountain, and stallion fires. Food, fun, kids, no paperwork. Really good day here at Reno Town Mall, August 22nd from 1 to 4 p.m. And also a way to show your support for Eddie and Shari Floyd, who loved the Project Bear Hugs. Don't need to have lost your home. You don't need to prove anything. Don't have to qualify. Just come down here to Reno Town Mall on August 22nd from 1 to 4 p.m. Hero of the Week this week. Normally, this is a segment of the show that is reserved for a family member of a Nevada that is serving in the military. However, this week, my hero of the week is anybody who has helped or checked in on a neighbor during the bug or the stallion fire. I don't need to know who you are. Please don't tell me who you are. You know who you are. So if you've done anything to help a neighbor, check in on them, care for them in any way, you are my hero of the week this week. And then as for our empty chair, this is something that I dedicate to somebody who has lost somebody. And I'm going to turn that over to my guest, Heather, and then we will go ahead and continue our conversation. So, Heather, you do have an empty chair for us for this week.
Yeah, I've got 3 chairs. You know, I have my step grandfather and both my maternal and paternal grandfathers that have passed away, but they come with me everywhere. You know, they're in my heart, my mind, and all the lessons they taught me remain. And so I'm glad to have the empty chair for them here today.
That's good, hon. They are here with us in these empty chairs. So I am speaking with Joe and Heather Murray, Story County residents, with their fun meet cute stories. Let's go ahead and get on back. I believe when we had left off, I left you off on a cliffhanger. So I like to do that. It's good radio for you.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
I think we know it. I think we know it worked out.
It's
Yeah.
funny.
So-
We know the ending of the story. It's still interesting.
Yeah, well, you know, in movie Titanic, you know the ship sinks, but how they
Right.
get there is so fun. And I
Well-
still maintain that there was plenty of room for Jack on that chair, but that's going to be discussed for another time.
Well, it's the individual story, though. You know,
Mhm.
it's the details. We want to know the details. Some
Yeah.
of the mystery stories do that. You know, when you're watching the murder
Yeah.
mysteries, it's like he came in on me watching one, and you know they got murdered right at the beginning, and he's like, "We know who did it. What's interesting?" And I was like, because we're on edge on how are they going to prove it? How are
Mhm.
they
That
going to
is the
figure it
interesting
out?
part, yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Who's leading? Where did we leave off? What was the question again?
Well,
I
I think
don't-
I think we've set it ourselves. We figured out we both came from Texas. Didn't meet there. Didn't come up there. And I think we've talked. We almost crossed paths a few times, but didn't.
right.
And you're like, yeah, I wasn't ready. You wouldn't have given me a second look, but
Yes, that's a good reason. So we'll pick it up there.
Possible,
He's
or
like-
just
he's
wasn't
like,
paying
yeah,
attention.
but I definitely gave you a second look and a third look and a fourth and a fifth.
So where did you
So,
first meet him?
We actually he was in town and I was in town, but we went outside of town, so it's
Right.
still how we
Mhm.
met.
We weren't isolated enough.
I was there with my father.
Aha, yes, the old classic. Let's go out to the country,
You're right. middle of the
woods, and look at the stars trick. And oh, by the way, I'm out of gas.
Exactly. You're right. No.
Oh yes,
It's
we're
flat
listening
tire.
to the tree
Get it-
frogs.
get it
out loud.
together.
Yes. So my sister and I had seen a flyer. So one of the sheriff deputy.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
yeah, good guy. So we saw a flyer that said, do you want to get flexibility? Do you want to gain flexibility? Do you want to gain confidence? Some self-defense. And my sister and I were like, that is a good sister activity. Let's go to that. And we got there, and we are the only females in the room of a bunch of guys wearing geese. And we had to
Mhm.
drive
I don't
out
know
to
what it could be.
Batavia. So that was like, we're coming in town. We're driving back out of town.
Mhm.
Also, we're like, where are all the nowhere places we can find? Those are the best
Yeah,
places to be.
Yeah.
Really love being there. Yeah. So, well, and that's where we ended up at church too.
Let's make our odds
Everybody thought it
as
was a
small
cult,
as
not a cult.
possible. Let's do that.
Yeah. Well, it's easier to meet people and get to know people. And
That's
and
true.
I
Not
have
as
to have,
many distractions.
I have to have nature. I love coming into town, but I have to live in nature. That's just, yeah. So I guess that could have been nerve-wracking, but he was a sheriff deputy, so we felt pretty safe, But so we're out there. It's just a metal building.
Yeah. This is the
Just a
back half
metal
of a metal
building.
building.
It smells like guy sweat.
Wonder why.
They want us to do, all these rolls and hip throws and punches and everything. And we were kind of loving it, but I got distracted.
You don't say.
I don't say.
Yeah.
She was a little hard to direct.
A little.
If I'm honest.
No.
She paid very close attention to me, actually.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yes,
And you're completely oblivious of them, Mr. Oblivious.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
were you really? I always really want to know.
Like I
This
think
is- this
I
is-
eventually caught a clue, but
When did you eventually catch a clue? Like,
okay. So I don't remember exactly when this was, but I was wearing a beard at the time, right? Maybe I
Okay.
had a goatee, and of course it's orange, right? It's
Yeah.
orange, red, whatever. And you started describing to me how people in other cultures, like on the Silk Road and other places like Mongolia, things like that, would dye their beards. Sorry, my bad. Would dye their beards orange, and I thought this was an interesting conversation for
well, they were
martial
using,
arts.
they were bleaching it,
They're
and it would
bleaching
turn
it.
red.
Yeah.
And so it's actually in the northern,
Okay.
on the northern route. Yeah. So there's anthropological, archaeological
Mhm.
evidence
Right.
that the what we would call Celtic, but the people who
Yeah.
do that are going to call it something different. But I'll just tell
Okay.
you that. So the peoples up there, our northern European peoples actually they think they had contact in a lot of trading routes
Right.
with the Eastern.
Yeah.
And one of the things both of them did was bleach their hair, and so in
Mhm.
the Mongolians it would turn red. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have we have
Yeah,
burials where
interesting
we
fact.
can find that the women and the men
Yeah.
had these
So
bleached
I
red.
thought that was interesting while we were doing our warm-up stretches, completely topical. And
This is in the karate
context-appropriate.
dojo.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're like, she's noticing my red beard, bothering to try to talk to me, come up
Mhm.
with, I had
Mhm.
forgot. I remember it now that you said it, but I
Right.
had
And
forgotten
I don't
about
remember
that.
where this, like
So
the
I
timeline.
had
'cause
never
it's
tried
me in
to
details.
flirt before. I had never tried to have like, let me catch your interest.
And once again, it's me,
Mhm.
right? Like,
I thought you were never gonna notice.
oh my
me.
gosh. Yeah. Let's make it as hard as possible.
Yes. So we're going.
So what do you do to help get his attention?
Oh.
Hip throws.
Well, is we're in there and it's several, and there was some attractive guys in there, and they're wearing gis, and it's open like this, and I am not bothered by any of it. I'm used to dancers. We're showing off bodies. Who cares? But I was so incredibly distracted by Joe, and he was working on his black
Hey,
belt,
I'm over
so they
here.
have to
Yeah,
help. Yeah. So he kept pairing him with me, and every time
Aha.
I would just stutter and stop and just freeze. And so everybody else but Joe knew for the longest time. It was pretty obvious. I was
To be
like putting
fair-
on some lip gloss and mascara to go get sweaty.
To be fair, that's typical.
Oh yeah, we would go out and girls would just flirt like crazy with him, and he was, and
Yeah.
I was glaring. I was like, dude, you know.
She-
But eventually, I was like, I don't have to. He's
Yeah.
with me. He doesn't care. Yeah,
Yeah, he's hopeless.
you don't have a chance.
Yeah, he'll never
Yeah.
make it over the fence. It's fine.
But so we were hanging out in
Mhm.
the same friend group, and we were friends, and we were going to coffee together, we're going to parties together, and somehow it always ended up like us two hanging out of the whole group and everything. And eventually one of the other girls, she was like, dude, y'all are dating. And I was like, what are you talking about? We're just friends, you know. And I would say it like that, like, we're just friends, because it's really irritating me. It is really irritating me. So she was like, okay, but whenever you're talking to another guy, you know how they just suddenly stop talking and turn away? You know, that's like because he's back there glaring at them. And then when you turn around, he just smiles and you just think he's a big teddy bear, but he has staked his claim, you know. And she's like, whenever we're at a restaurant or we're at a party, he's always sitting next to you and his thigh is always next to your thigh. And I was like, no. So I paid attention, and we're at the local pizza place.
Right?
We're sitting in the booth, and all of a sudden I realized, oh my gosh, he is next to me. This is how oblivious I was. You know, it took her pointing out that we are right next to each other. And I was like, oh my gosh, we are dating. But then nothing happened for like the longest time. And so I've always dressed incredibly modestly. But I was like, I don't know what else to do. I was the person who always had my friends over all the time. The friend group would come over to my house all the time. And we actually had a thing that I would make lunch for everybody. They would bring over groceries and I would make lunch. So one day I pulled out all the stops. I had gone and bought myself a little denim miniskirt. And I made sure when I was going up those stairs that I swayed my hips. But he shows nothing. I look back, nothing. I'm like, I don't know how to get through to this guy. I don't know what to do. This is insane. You know, I threw it out there like, oh, I'd love to go see a movie. And I was used to guys picking that up like, oh, I'll take you. No, I'll take you. And he was like, that's nice. And I was just like,
It was. It sounded like a good idea. I mean, objectively. Yeah.
I thought, I didn't know what to think. I don't know. So I pounded that steak. I had steak and I pounded it and I deep fried it and I rolled it up around some Chipotle cream cheese. I did it all from scratch and everything.
Did you write when she's, hey, I like you?
No, I think that was the love note. And it was, you know, it wasn't just him, it was the group of friends. And then as he left,
and everybody sees this except for him.
Well, no, as he left,
Food
he
changes
came over
everything.
and he kissed me.
Yes, food
Right in
changes
front of
everything.
everybody, right on the lips, like
Right.
sealed the deal.
Okay.
I remember David. Oh, this is new.
Yeah. David was like, this is new. And he was like, when did this happen? I was like, just now. You saw it. It happened just now.
Captain Arbitrary Decisions.
Yeah. So then we had to have the conversation and just sort of backdate the dating. We were like,
retroactive dating. I don't know that was a thing until now.
I think we invented it.
Yeah. I'm going to go with that concept, retroactive dating.
Get it done. That's what I say.
Yeah. So he was definitely, this was going to happen. And it was so cute. All my friends really appreciated, because I can be very detail oriented about some things, but then just walk off and leave my purse, you know. So he would show up at college and bring me a lunch. You know, you forgot your lunch.
I used to do that with my wife too. With Dion, when we first met, I would bring her Taco Bell because I got off campus before she did.
Yeah. So he would bring me lunch, and then you know, when we'd all get up to go, he's, you know, everyone was like, "All right, this is a done deal. We're just waiting."
Okay. Well, we're going to step out because I have to figure out what PC load letter means on the studio printer. But we're going to pack in a few more minutes. We're going to figure out the rest of the story of how they got to Nevada and what they're up to now. We're back right after this on Northern Nevada's Voice.
Well, listen up, Reno. When your name's on the line, you want it done right. Sign and design.
Welcome back to Nevada Backstage. I'm your host, Jim Umbach, and I'm here to let you know that today's celebrity birthdays. Deborah Messing is 58, Joe Jonas 37, and Jennifer Lawrence is 36. Today's International Geocaching Day. I remember being into geocaching 20 years ago, and it is still a thing. I know a couple of people that are super into it, but it gets you out and about, getting to find things. If you don't know what it is, we should have somebody come in and talk about that one time, because it's really a lot of fun. It's also, by random chance, with this couple that I have, it's also Best Friends Day. And I have two best friends here with me, so that's always fun. It's Lemon Meringue Pie Day. I wish I had lemon meringue pie here today, but looking at me, I like to eat, so I always got to make sure I get some food day in at some point. A couple of announcements. I'm still looking for 3 contestants for a Nevada trivia game I'm going to have here on October 31st in this studio. 3 people who think they know Nevada trivia better than anybody. Are you a Nevada trivia champion? Let me know creatively any way you want to. Everybody's going to get a prize. You're going to get a signed copy of one of my books, but the winner is going to get a chance to go host a show with me. And I have a lot of really fun guests coming in the next couple of months after that. So we're going to do that. I can tell you that the longest telegram at the time sent was the Nevada Constitution sent from Carson City to Washington, D.C., but maybe that means something as a clue, and maybe it doesn't, but I'm looking for creativity. I might have just actually spoiled what kinds of thing I'm looking for. I don't know. Oops. Oh, well. The more creative you are, the better about that. Also, Small Business Saturday show on November 28th. That's a Saturday after Thanksgiving. If you run a small business with a unique niche that serves rural Nevada, let me know, and I can go ahead and get you on a panel for that show, get you a chance to talk about your business. Finally, some things that happened on this day. 1939, The Wizard of Oz premiered at Grauman's Chinese Theater in Los Angeles. If you haven't had a chance to see The Wizard of Oz at this fair, we're going there in a couple of weeks. This is not an advertisement for them, but it looks like a lot of fun, so we want to see that. But I will get you my pretty. We're going to go see that one. Also, say 1969, Woodstock Music and Art Festival opened in upstate New York. And then in 2007, this is actually a fun one. The police were responding to a noise complaint in Hanover, Germany, and they found a 51-year-old resident of the house had gotten so frustrated with his computer that he threw it out the window. And the police did not press charges, because who actually hasn't felt like doing that? So speaking of best friends, as we were talking about, we're going to go ahead and get back to Heather and Joe Murray here of Story County, who were telling us they met, and now they've met, and Joe has finally gotten the hint at a karate dojo, and they have invented what is called retroactive dating. So let's pick it up.
You're welcome.
Actually, I want to
Let's pick it up
redirect.
from there.
I
Okay.
want to I want to know more about this trivia thing and this creativity.
Uh-huh.
So, are you asking the questions, or are you asking people to come up with, "Hey, I bet you didn't know"?
Either of those are great. I mean, I don't really have a lot of criteria what I'm looking for, but the idea is I'm going to have questions for people to answer. Each were different points. I didn't point out, it's also Halloween that day. It's a radio show, but maybe if you come in a costume, you'll get extra points.
Oh, there you
Nice.
go.
Maybe
Yes,
Nevada
we
themed
love
costume,
costumes.
maybe not.
Yeah.
I kind of have this thing about pirates, so maybe a pirate costume would be fun, but I'm not going to give a whole lot of details of what I'm looking for.
Okay, so they can answer the questions, or they can see if did you know this.
I-
That would be quite the stump.
Right. I
Okay.
have a question about the coffin races.
Yes.
If you die, do you win by default?
I would imagine you
Yeah, I
would.
mean, this seems reasonable.
This is a good question to ask. Actually,
Like
when,
we should clear that, right? I
when
mean,
Jen Toon's here next week.
exactly. Remember
Yeah.
that one
Mhm.
for me. I really want to
But-
know.
Okay.
I do know that they have walls around cemeteries because people are always trying to get into them.
It's true.
Mhm.
It's true. Very popular
Yes,
places.
it is.
Yeah, they like to stay a while too.
So since we only have a
It's
few
the
minutes
dad joke
left,
segment.
I want to hear the rest of the story of how you ended up.
How did we end up here?
Yeah, how did you end up in Nevada to get away from all the tornadoes and such?
Oh
Well,
my gosh, we went through so many tornadoes.
We-
and-
Mhm.
tornadoes getting here too. But
oh my, we did. Okay, so we are driving from Arkansas to here because we're like, we're going to see the country. We're
And
going to take our time.
What year was this? This was 23?
2018.
2018. Okay, so it's right before lockdown.
And we were
Yeah.
trying to remember if it was Montana or Wyoming, but it's one
Right,
of those.
Right. We ended up.
Because we went the northern route.
Yeah, one of those welcome stations.
And all of a sudden, it starts raining and hailing, like
Mhm.
Mhm.
Massive.
massive,
Aha.
massive hail.
Why is hail always golf ball size?
It was bigger
Yeah.
than golf ball size. You know, we're talking tennis
Mhm.
balls,
Yeah.
baseballs easily. And so all the trucks and semis even have to pull over. Everyone has
Mhm.
pulled over. Eventually, it kind of clears up enough that we start following one another and we get into one of those rest stops. Is
Mhm.
really nice and watch from the glass walls the tornadoes.
Yeah.
But before that, as we are trying to inch along in the hails, it's coming down on the roof, you know, and you're hearing the pang, pang,
Yes,
pang, and you're
yes,
like, oh, the car's
leaving
probably,
divots in
yeah,
the
at first
car.
we're like, okay,
Yeah.
we've got to be sure not to crash. I wonder how this is going to go with the rental car insurance and all that. And I look over and above Joe's head, it hits so hard that it comes in
The roof.
and the roof just goes boom.
It
Hmm.
tapped
And-
me on the head at one point.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't the first time. That might have been corrective for all I know. And,
Mhm.
you know, like reversing retroactive healing, you know, via concussion.
Yeah, well, that's how you get computers to work, right?
Right.
You gotta,
Yeah.
yeah.
Turn
you
them
gotta-
off, turn them back on again.
That's always
Yeah.
first thing you try, off and back on again.
Exactly.
Right.
IT solution.
So it was
Mhm.
just resetting some things. Yeah. Anyway, so then we made it here, but
Yeah. We forgot to mention the opportunity that brought us here.
Let's retroactively mention it then.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
that's what I was
It
going to
was
say.
it was a very complex sort of process. I was at home and a recruiter called me and said, "Hey, do you want to go to Nevada?" And I thought about it for a few days, and then I said yes.
Yeah.
So were you
Well-
thinking of
So,
slot
yeah, I
machines
know.
and buffets and showgirls
People
and
are
all
just-
that?
I don't. You know, I think is kind of a big word for
You're
me.
making it sound like so simple, but it was really kind of a big thing. I
It
had
was.
prayed. So I had prayed, and we had been part of a little bitty church, and this was where we were at church all day. But it was time for us to, kind of go out, and I was like, God, please put us where you want us. But he had, a work accident, and I was
Yeah.
like, we need someplace better.
Mhm.
Once
And,
again,
we had
small
thought we were
horizons.
never going to leave, but I actually prayed to God to take it to somewhere. And then he got this call, and he was like, I actually want to do this job, and he's got an interesting job, because he works on fixing machines, and so he
Mhm.
was one of the first people in the country. He was among that first wave that got this particular certificate, and so we looked it up. We're like, okay, the Reno Sparks area, that looks great. We like this. That'll be
Mhm.
neat. It'll be a different experience. It'll be, some ag, some city. We'll like all of that. But then we got here and we did not know that we were coming with so many other people.
Yeah.
We
yeah.
were like, yes. So it immediately grew.
First wave. Wave is a good description. Like so many
It was
people coming at the
crazy.
same time. So that is how we got here. I guess we followed everybody else.
No. They followed us.
Oh, right.
We
right.
got here and they all thought it must be an awesome idea.
No. The tornado followed us.
The tornado.
Yeah. Joe and Heather are going there. Must be a pretty cool place.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what they're up to. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a really we love it here. It's got so many interesting people, so much history, and just you've got the different landscapes and the different animals. I got to tell you, we were weirded out at first to be standing like in a desert and looking at seagulls. That was unexpected.
Yes. That
Very
surprised me
unexpected.
most of all.
It was surreal.
It was surreal. Like here's this ocean bird in the middle of literally nowhere, like sand and sagebrush everywhere. And what is it doing here? How does it survive?
Well,
But you're on Story
and-
County, and they like to feed on the landfill that's back there.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
we
used to
figured that
seeing the
out,
seagulls
yeah.
flying over the desert hills now.
Mhm.
Yes, and all the horses out there and everything.
Yeah, we have Mustangs in our neighborhood.
But
That's pretty cool.
The whole thing was very surreal because we
Mhm.
came from this very green, very rural place, and
yeah.
we were walking along. There's so many people and such diversity and
Mhm.
It was a
crazy
shock.
people. Yeah, yeah.
It was a shock.
We
I
were
thought it
out
was
there,
Mars.
and these two
I was
guys.
pretty sure we had landed on Mars.
Yo, he did.
I did. Yeah.
Well,
See,
honestly,
but-
if I went to Arkansas, I probably would feel a bit out of place myself there too.
Yep. It's super green, forests everywhere, and
You were
it's
telling
very
me about
different place.
random burned down cars too. You see, just on the side
Yeah,
of the
there.
road.
If you go to the
It's
right
part of the
place,
landmarks.
anytime, they just say, "Oh, there's a car on fire," and then you turn right.
Well, out here we call those barbecues.
It-
Yeah.
I wish I had known that then. I could have shared.
Yeah, but
So what do you?
No, I'm sorry. I blanked out.
What was the
I
question?
was still thinking about barbecues.
Things you like about living in the area? We've touched on a lot of them, but I got us distracted with.
We've
barbecue-
gotten to
barbecue.
participate in some really cool things.
Mhm.
There's we had done a robotics group back in Arkansas, but here y'all do first robotics.
Oh yeah.
And so there's so many cool transitions there. A lot of
Mhm.
they need volunteers all the time. So this is where school age children, all the way from elementary up through high school,
Mhm.
build Lego robots, and they're given a mission
Mhm.
and they have to figure it out as a team.
Yeah.
And our child participated through Boys and Girls Club,
Yep.
and
I got to be a judge one year.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Put
so
on
we
the gavel and the
volunteered
robe
there.
and all that. Other
yeah.
fun
Yeah,
stuff.
so we really encourage
Sequestered,
people to check that out.
made
Yes, and
decisions.
we've got
Mhm.
some nice art groups. Always doing stuff. We love the festivals. My favorite is the Honey Lavender Festival. So yes, you got to wear the hats. I like to participate in the hat contest,
Mhm.
and some really fantastic work that people do there. There's amusing, there's amazing, there's everything. So
Well, it sounds as you landed really well, and I just loved hearing this story. This could be made for a movie. Do you know if Tom Hanks is doing anything right now? Maybe he could play the
I'm
male
sure we
lead.
could put
Will they or
everything
won't
he's doing
they?
on hold. He would hear this and he'd be like, "Oh, that's the
Oh.
one. I have to do this before I leave this
Yeah.
earth. It has to be done."
And maybe-
Absolutely.
Drew. Well, he might be a bit old, but maybe Drew Barrymore could be a good female.
Why
lead,
not? I think
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know. What do you think about Billy Crystal? Because he had that
Yeah.
whole like Meg Ryan thing,
Mhm.
and like maybe he's still got that energy. I don't know.
That could be a fun icebreaker question for somebody. Is if you were a movie character, who would play you?
Right. Obviously, somebody not paying
I
attention.
think we need
So-
Sandra
that would be
Bullock,
me.
honestly.
Oh,
So-
good call.
Yeah.
Solid call.
In the minute
Actually,
or so,
I'm with that.
in the minutes that we have left, we did have one last backstage bulletin that came in, and that is happy birthday to Chris from your family. So, Chris, your family wishes you a happy birthday. So, I'm
Happy birthday, Chris.
Yes, happy
Happy
birthday, Chris.
birthday.
I'm not going to
Birthday
sing to
to
you
you.
because you don't want to hear me sing. But any last thoughts before we wrap it up? How can people get a hold of you? Want to talk to you more, or what else did you want anybody to know about you?
Actually, I hadn't really thought of that.
Yeah, you got through
If
us
you
with that one.
need to get in touch with us, contact James Umbach. He has a radio station.
He's our agent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's our representative. You can
Sorry,
just
we
go through
only
him.
go through.
For the record, that's not my station.
Or did they let him in? Okay.
yeah, they let me come in here.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go ahead and wrap up backstage bulletin, Nevada backstage for the week. It's been a very fun conversation. Look, it's making me loopy today too. But I'm gonna be back next week, and we are going to be having Jen Toon from Main Street Gardnerville talking about the coffin races. Until then, go ahead and stay tuned for Doug Jazz Track coming here momentarily on Northern Nevada's Voice, KNR KPGF.